40 hours a week, every single week, 52 weeks a year. You show up, you put in the effort, you solve problems that aren't yours for a company that isn't yours to hit targets you didn't set. And yet every month, like clockwork, the money arrives, and then it vanishes. It's not bad luck. It's not that you're bad with money. And it's certainly not because you aren't working hard enough. In fact, the harder you work, the more the system seems to swallow.
This is the salary trap. Most people think of a salary as a ladder, something you climb to reach freedom. But in reality, for 90% of the population, a salary is a treadmill. It keeps you moving, it keeps you exhausted, but it ensures you never actually leave the room. In this video, we are going to pull back the curtain. I'm going to show you the 3 hidden mechanisms that make the salary trap almost impossible to escape, the psychological hooks the system uses to keep you compliant, and the exact shift you need to make if you ever want to stop trading your life for a paycheck. By the end of this, you won't just see your bank account differently, you'll see your entire life through a new lens. Let's get into it.
The good soldier syndrome. Society gives us a script. It's a comfortable script. Go to school, get the degree, land the stable job. We are told that if we do these things, we've made it. And at 22 or 23, when that first paycheck hits, it feels like victory. You go from having $20 in your pocket to having thousands. You feel a surge of excitement. You feel like a real adult. So you do what adults do. You upgrade. You move out of the basement or the shared apartment, you get a place with a view. You buy a car that doesn't shake when you hit 60 miles per hour. You start eating at restaurants where you don't have to clear your own tray. But here is the psychological trap. We are conditioned to equate our self-worth with our spending power. When your salary goes up, your brain tells you that your standard of living must follow. If you earn $60,000 but live like you earn $30,000, you feel like you're failing. You feel like you're behind your peers. So you spend. You buy the social proof that you are a successful professional. And just like that, you've handed the keys to your freedom back to the system. You are now a good soldier. You are productive, you are consuming, and most importantly for the system, you are now too expensive to quit. Let's talk about the most fundamental flaw in the salary model, the time value of life. Every job is a trade of time for money. We know this, but we rarely calculate the true cost of that time. If you are 30 years old, you have roughly 4,000 weeks of life remaining. If you work a standard 40-hour week from age 20 to 65, you are giving away over 90,000 hours of your prime cognitive and physical years. Think about that. You are selling the best hours of your day when you have the most energy and the sharpest mind to someone else. You are left with the scraps, the tired evening hours, the 2 days on the weekend when you're too exhausted to do anything but recover. But the trap goes deeper. Because your income is tied to your time, it has a natural ceiling. Even if you were the best employee in the world, you only have 24 hours in a day. Your boss knows this, the system knows this. Your salary is carefully calculated to be high enough to keep you from leaving, but low enough to ensure you need to come back next week. If you stop, the money stops. You are not building an asset. You are renting out your life, and the landlord can raise the rent or evict you at any time. There's a concept in sociology called the Diderot Effect. It states that obtaining a new possession often creates a spiral of consumption, which leads you to acquire even more new possessions. In the salary trap, this is your worst enemy. Let's say you get a promotion. You're now making $10,000 more a year. You decide to reward yourself with a better car. The car payment is $700 a month. The insurance increase is $100 a month. The premium fuel is another $100 a month. Maintenance adds $50 a month.
Suddenly, that $10,000 raise, which was only about $7,000 after taxes, is entirely gone. In fact, you might be more broke now than you were before the promotion because you are locked into a higher monthly overhead. This is the hedonic treadmill. You run faster, but the scenery never changes. You are earning executive money, but living with entry-level stress because your margin is always zero. The system loves this. A consumer with a high salary and high debt is the most stable employee in the world. You cannot afford to say no. You cannot afford to take a risk. You are a prisoner of your own upgrades.
This is the part they don't teach you in school. The tax system is structurally designed to favor owners over workers. If you earn $100,000 a year as a salaried employee, you are taxed at the highest possible rate. After income tax, social contributions, and other deductions, you might take home $65,000 to $70,000. You are paying for the infrastructure of society with your labor. Now look at the person who earns $100,000 a year from investments. Their tax rate could be dramatically lower, in many countries as low as 15% or even less on long-term gains. The system is literally telling you we value money that works more than we value people who work. By staying in the salary trap, you are choosing the most inefficient way to build wealth. You are starting every year with a 30% handicap. You are working from January through April just to pay the government, while wealthy people are using that same time to compound their assets. If you want to win the game, you have to stop playing on the labor level and start moving to the asset level. Let's look at two friends, Mark and David. They both graduated with the same degree and started at the same company earning $60,000 a year. Mark followed the script. Every time Mark got a raise, he celebrated by upgrading his life. At $75,000, he got the luxury car. At $90,000, he moved into the downtown apartment with the floor-to-ceiling windows. Mark looks successful. His social media is full of vacations and expensive dinners. But Mark has a secret. He is one layoff away from total collapse. His fixed expenses are $6,000 a month. He has $4,000 in savings. He is terrified of his manager. He laughs at his boss's bad jokes because he literally cannot afford not to. Mark has high income, but he has zero power. Now look at David. David decided to live on his starting salary for a full decade. Every time he got a raise, he didn't see it as spending money. He saw it as freedom fuel. When David reached $90,000, he was still driving the same modest car. He still lived in the same simple apartment. But David was funneling $30,000 a year into low-cost index funds. By age 35, David has what some people call financial freedom money. If David's boss is disrespectful, David can leave. If David wants to take 6 months off to travel or start a business, he can. David's investments now generate passive growth every single year, money he didn't have to trade a single hour of his life for. Mark is a slave to his success. David is a master of his simplicity. The golden handcuffs. Why don't more people do what David did? It sounds so simple. It's because of the golden handcuffs. The salary trap uses comfort as a weapon. When you have a steady paycheck, your brain enters a state of passive survival. You aren't in danger, so you don't innovate. You aren't hungry, so you don't hunt. The system gives you just enough luxury, the streaming services, the food delivery, the seasonal sales, to keep you comfortable enough that you don't notice the bars of the cage. You tell yourself, I'll start investing next year. I'll start saving when I hit 6 figures. I'll take the risk when the timing is right. But someday is the most dangerous word in the English language. It's the word people use to make their current situation feel temporary. But in the salary trap, nothing changes unless you move. The trap is designed to be a lifetime sentence. The only way out is to embrace temporary discomfort in order to buy permanent freedom. If you want to escape, you need to see the truth. You need to calculate your real hourly rate. Most people say, I make $50 an hour. They are wrong. Here is the real calculation. Start with your gross pay. Now subtract taxes, roughly 25% or more depending on where you live. Now subtract your commute. You aren't paid for those 5 to 10 hours a week sitting in traffic, but they are absolutely work hours. Now subtract work maintenance, the professional clothes, the lunches you buy because you had no time to prepare food at home. Now subtract what I call decompression costs, the drinks on Friday night to forget the week, the expensive holiday you take just to recover from the job. When most people do this calculation honestly, that $50 hourly rate shrinks down to something that barely feels worth it. This number is your wake-up call. Every time you consider buying something expensive, don't ask if it's worth the price. Ask how many real hours of your life it costs. That changes everything. I am not telling you to quit your job. A salary is a magnificent tool, if you use it correctly. The shift is this. Stop seeing your salary as your destination. Start seeing it as your venture capital. You are the CEO of your own life. Your job is your primary investor. But a smart CEO doesn't just spend the investment, they use it to build something that generates returns while they sleep. You need to build a second engine. For some people, that is a portfolio of index funds that quietly compound year after year. For others, it is a small side business, a rental property, or a digital asset. The vehicle matters less than the concept. The goal is to reach a point where your second engine covers your basic needs. The moment your investments pay for your rent and your groceries, the salary trap loses all its power over you. You are no longer working because you have to. You are working because you choose to. That is the only definition of financial freedom that actually matters.
Here's your practical exit strategy. Start this week. Step 1. Do a gap analysis. Look at your income and your expenses. If the gap between what you earn and what you spend is less than 20%, you are in the danger zone. Your first priority is to widen that gap, not necessarily by earning more, but by cutting the social proof spending that is silently draining your future. Step 2. Automate your freedom. Set up an automatic transfer the same day your paycheck arrives. If you never see the money, you won't miss it. Start with 10%. Work your way toward 30% over time. This money goes directly into your second engine. No exceptions, no negotiations. Step 3. Diversify your skills. Spend 1 hour every day learning something that is not tied to your current job. The more valuable skills you have in the market, the less power any single employer has over your future. Become what I call untrappable. The salary trap is comfortable. That is exactly why it is so dangerous. It is easy to just show up. It is easy to just pay the bills and tell yourself things will be different someday. It is easy to let the years slip by until you are 65 and wondering where the time went. But you were not born to be a line item on a corporate balance sheet. You were not born to spend 90,000 hours of your life in meetings and commutes just to own a slightly nicer car than your neighbor. You deserve your own time. You deserve to own your mornings. You deserve to look at a Tuesday afternoon and choose to spend it with the people you love, not the people you report to. The trap is real. The mechanisms are real, but the door is unlocked. You just have to be willing to walk through it. If this video made you see your paycheck differently, let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to see exactly how to build your second engine step by step, watch the next video. I will see you there.